Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dusted on Gaming, playing a little bit of Burn here this evening. Hopefully we can get through this league pretty quickly. You guys know the drill. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you're an OG, as Space Marine likes to call it, please consider looking at our Patreon page and contributing to the channel and helping our channel grow. So that said, we've already played one match in this league off camera. It was against Grixis Shadow. Nothing too fancy. It's a matchup we've played a lot. Game 1, we won pretty easily. They got stuck on non-blue sources. Game 2, we played against... we got stuck on one land, and they were able to land a couple of threats. Game 3 was just pretty much your typical creature start, and they couldn't answer fast enough. And we had double Path to Exile to answer any creature they might play, so they had to try to go removal spell into removal spell, and by that point they were dead, so... it's kind of hard, especially on the play, for them to beat Goblin Guide into Swift Spear, even and they thought they used us, and they interacted each turn. They just ended up losing because our start was too quick, and they obviously have to do a lot of damage to themselves with their mana base and their Thought Seizes and such, so it was a pretty typical Grixis Shadow matchup. I'm hoping to get through this pretty quickly so we can at least start a sealed event on MTG Arena, because I did not get a chance to pre-release this weekend. I apologize for not streaming yesterday. One of the family animals had to be put to sleep, so it's kind of a rough day all around. Beyond that, I ended up sleeping for like 9 hours, so not a whole lot got done, not much homework, not much streaming, not much magical gatherings or anything, so trying to do a couple of quick hits tonight. Hopefully this Modern League will go pretty quick, and then we can get into at least doing a couple of matches on MTG Arena with Sealed. So, that said, this queue taking a little while is a little annoying, but that's life. Hopefully everybody is enjoying their pre-release weekend and is out pre-releasing. I hope the MTG Arena open beta didn't affect the pre-releases too terribly much, and all the new nonsense with Amazon's new deal with Magic. So don't forget to get out there and support your local game store. Draw, which kind of sucks. Never a good place to be, especially in Modern. That said, this hand's pretty decent. Goblin Guide into Eidolon, or Goblin Guide into Goblin Guide Riftbolt, all of which are pretty reasonable. A lot of it depends on how proactive our opponent's being. Usually aggressively mulliganing like that means something like Tron here. So, oh, this might be the, is this the mono red nonsense deck that's been popping up? Might just find our Goblin Guide bolted here. Nope. Definitely confirmed not mono red. Not sure what they are then. Some type of Ponza deck that horribly mulliganed, or Valakut possibly. Yeah, I'll probably put them on Valakut now that I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Either Valakut or Ponza here. Looks like Valakut. Yeah, definitely Valakut. That said, we do have some decisions to make here. So, if they anger us next turn, so this would be 2, 4, 7 damage this turn. If I only play Eidolon, it's only 2 guaranteed damage. And if they anger our board away, it's 4? I think we just want to get them dead. Like, Eidolon's appealing here, but the damage output's higher with Goblin Guides. They got 2 lands, so we're certainly undoing their mulliganing for them. That and this way we could also potentially stay above 18, which could potentially buy us a turn. So, if they have anger here, it's going to kind of suck, but is what it is. Nope, Wood Elves. Alright. They're ramping pretty quick here. Especially if they have another ramp spell. This could be really rough. Looks like they do have another ramp spell, potentially a Sakura Tribe Elder here. Alright, mulligan to 4 and they still might kill us on turn 4 here. Looks like Eidolon would have been the correct play. That said, clearing these blockers out actually is less damage than the burn spells just going straight to the face here, so. Wood Elves on top. So if they have so we'll be able to get us 6 lands. I just play Eidolon here. End of turn we bolt them and skull crack them. Don't think they can kill us from here. Two, three, four. I mean, they could get Prime Time was probably their most devastating play here, and even that's not the greatest. Yeah, I guess they could play Ramp Spell Kill Us. It's kind of unreal that they mulligan to 4 here, and they could potentially still kill us. Okay, Bloodbraid Elf I'm cool with here. And they choose not to cast. Probably wisely so. Just gonna go ahead and bolt this, actually, do I even bolt the, Bloodbraid Elf here? I think we just bolt their face. It's kind of scary that on a mulligan to 4, they almost killed us on on 4 here. This is another example of why the just straight red-white mana base might be a little bit better, is the ability to play the 4. Let's go into Raid Fawz. At least stream-wise. Had a rough day with a family pet passing away. How's things with your situation? Is anything cleared up? Trying to think, is there any cards in our sideboard we actually actively want? We might want, it's kind of counterintuitive here, we might want a couple copies of Path to Exile, because Searing Blaze isn't that great. I don't like ramping them, but at the same time, sometimes you need to get an Obstinate Baloth or a, yeah, pretty much sometimes you need to get an Obstinate Baloth off the table. Did you get a chance to go to the pre-release at all, or don't you usually pre-release? Oopsie. Well, good thing they didn't catch him, I guess. Sanda's not fantastic. The problem with keeping a hand like this is it could be too slow burn spell-wise. That said, I think it's a keep, but it's not the greatest in terms of, like, trying to kill them on turn 4 or 5. Well, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm not going to get a chance to actually go to any of my LGSs because of my work schedule. Like, they had 2-headed giant tonight, but I was just too tired and didn't have a partner, so it was like, came home, take a nap, get up, work on a little bit of homework, get on here. Hopefully this won't take too long and I can get into a MTG Arena sealed event, and that's kind of my pre-release for the weekend. Well, thanks, Foz, but I think you're a little bit far away, bud. Okay, my opponent's going to shock in an Explorer here. I think this turn we just have to shock in. Not that far, bud. It's cool. Not for a pre-release. I appreciate the offer, though. Got the Skull Crack in case they have a Baloth here. That said, we are going to struggle to kill them before they could potentially kill us on 4 here. Actually, we may even struggle to kill them on 5. Yeah, I mean, they're certainly set up to... yeah, this is one of their better draws. It's kind of scary, actually. This is what I was talking about, this hand being too slow in a linear matchup kind of way. Path to Exile, definitely not the card we were looking for here. That said, if they don't kill us this turn and we draw a land, they're dead. So that's a positive. A land or one of our 6 remaining bolts, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So prime time won't be lethal here. In burn, I don't like it. It serves very little purpose. Especially in a matchup like this, where you'd probably have another fetch land or 2 on your deck. It's just terribad. I think that's a slightly different deck, honestly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they can deal us. Are we dead here? 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get Valakut Mountain. Target us. It'll turn off. Will that turn off fetch lands? No, it won't turn off fetch lands. I can get a basic mountain, still kill them. I mean, well played. They were set up to kill us on 4 here without a lightning helix. Oh, never mind. Guess I screwed up me math here. That's one thing about Valakut being like a turn 4.5 deck, is sometimes that's just not good enough. Need a land or a 1-mana burn spell. Land or 1 mana. Okay, that'll do, pig. That'll do. I mean, that version's fine. That and the mono red version are certainly versions we can play. I don't think it's versions I would take to a bigger event. When I first started playing Burn pretty seriously as like my only deck to play, I played Nakatl Burn, and it was fine. The damage output can be higher, but I think with the increase of removal spells like Fatal Push in the format, the deck got worse. And then with like the problem with stretching to a 3-color mana base is cards like Assassin's Trophy could potentially cut you off colors too. So that there's actually even more punishment in the format now for spreading yourself 3 colors. This is a keep. I mean, we are seeing a lot of mountain decks. Alright, so this is Hollow One. Not the greatest of matchups, especially when they have a start like that. That said, not much. Aaron, how are you this evening? Vexing Devil is good in your claim to fame version of the deck flaws. Under normal circumstances, I don't think it's very good. That is a lot of damage coming through this turn. Especially if they have like a Hollow One follow-up here. I feel like we're going to get Burning Inquiry here. That is very aggressive. Alright, I mean, they kind of did the thing. They have a Hollow One follow-up, what could be. Well, I mean, Burn is probably one of the better decks to get back into Magic with, at least in terms of if you want to play Modern. It was a good deck in Standard until rotation too, so. That said, Red-Green Hollow One is not the greatest matchup for Burn, especially when they're on the play. When their 1-drop gets to 2, 3, 6, 7 us, it's pretty rough. The fact that they bin their Hollow One off their Burning Inquiry kind of saved our bacon here. Oh, they're the, looks like they're the Reanimator version? Interesting. I think we just pass here. I think we have them dead between all of our spells. Eldritch Evolution. Now there's a card. Well, the top deck in the format right now is Humans. Humans is a 5-color Ether Vial deck that's taking advantage of all the new humans that were printed in the Ixalan block. Alright, so we definitely want Rest in Peace. Yeah, I'd be interested, Foz. You've been a while since you sent me any lists. No, Wardog, I haven't gotten any of the news site yet. So opponent is the Eldritch Evolution. Is that Saffron Olive Pile, or is that in a deck that's just popped up because it 5-0'd somewhere? I feel like that's a Saffron Olive Pile. Naya Evolution. I feel like I've seen this list somewhere, but I don't know where. Do any of you guys know? Aaron, if you're looking for budget-based decks to get back into the format, look through all of Saffron Olive's offerings, and Strictly Better MTG has a lot of budget decks, although they're usually standard. So those would be the two sources I would look at for budget-based decks, and like play them on either X-Mage or the other one's escaping me. I would play a bunch of them on like X-Mage, or I'm drawing a blank on the other platform, and I've used it before. To Searing. Not really sure what we're supposed to cut in this matchup. I feel like we just cut like 2 Skull Cracks and 2 Eidolons on the draw. Yeah, like I would look at the various budget decks and then decide from there if any of them like catch your eye. This hand has 4 lands, but we could get Burning Inquiries, so do I keep this hand? I mean, we got a pretty good start, but this 4 lands is pretty miserable. I'm almost tempted to keep this hand on the draw. Yeah, I might regret it, but I'm going to keep this hand. Like, it's not good, but it's fine. Like, if one of these other lands was a spell, I'd snap this off in a heartbeat. And I don't usually like keeping 4-landers, so I was going to say, please Burning Inquiry, yes. Alright, the hand just got better. With an Eldritch Evolution. Well, what type of decks did you like to play, Aaron? That's usually a good way to kind of decide how you're going to approach things. Like, were you an aggro player? Were you a mid-range player? Were you a combo player? Ooh, looks like we're going to get hootied next turn. Wardog, have you gotten to work on any Assassin's Trophy lists yet for green-black? Eldritch Evolution into Thragtusk here. This is Rorik Thar. Okay, sure. I still feel like I've seen that list somewhere. Where have I seen that list? Does anybody know where they've seen a Hollow One Eldritch Evolution list? Like, I could have sworn I've seen that list somewhere. I'm just drawing a blank on, like, where it was. Let me look through MTG Goldfish, what we have. So I feel like that's a Saffron Olive thing. I've seen something like that before, I just can't remember where I've seen it. So, yeah, I think for right now in the Standard, until Mana Traders kind of gets their stuff together, I'm going to continue working on Green-Black Hexproof on Arena, and then in Paper I have I'm not even no, I understand, Aaron. I'm just saying, like, looking at budget lists, the best thing you can do is, like, give you some idea of, like, how to build budget mana bases and, like, ideas of cards that, so, like, the easiest thing to do when building a deck, at least in my opinion, is to build, like, decide a strategy, a color, or, like, a card you want to build around, and go from there. Like, I had a friend of my brother's who wanted to build a Saheeli Rai liquid metal coating Altar of the Brood combo deck, and pretty much handed that off to me to try to make it work. Oh, the Burn Mirror. Alright. This should be entertaining. Yeah, I enjoy building decks too. The problem is I don't have anywhere near the time between trying to do the school thing, trying to do the work thing, and streaming. It's kind of hard to... Like, I have like 3 or 4 decks that I work on over time sometimes. I guess if they're debating if this is going face or if this is going the creature. Yeah, they decided the creature. Eidolon is not the card that we were looking for here. Yeah, I haven't heard much back from him lately if he's worked on that deck anymore or not. So, I hope it's going well for him. their Swift Spear is kind of a rough one for us here. Yeah, the deck was fun. There's like, I mean, if you look through my various, really love like a Lightning Helix. Hello. Boom shakalaka. Yeah, there's like newborn baby thing is still trying to build a deck so far all the day. Like what ideas do you have? I mean, we can even kind of like brew on it throughout the night. Because I'm going to be here for this league and then doing a pre-release draft on Arena. And to be frank, I don't care that much to work my tail off on Arena, so, I mean, the problem is our opponent's hand is all spells. They have an Eidolon of their own. Might be too far behind this game. Do I want to shock in to... Probably should have played the Lava Spike there before playing the Eidolon. I guess they don't have the Rift Bolt anymore. So the question is, do they have... Alright, Lightning Helix is a good draw here. I think we just block here. Actually, probably just Helix this. Go ahead and spike them here. Hold on to the other spike, make them play around some stuff. We're almost at parity, but we've obviously drawn more lands than they have. The humans list should do fine. Like, we played a mono white humans list before that was pretty reasonable. So this is a weird matchup. Like, I don't want to go too heavy on the nonsense here. The blaze effects can go dead really quickly if you bring in too many of them. So I'm going to board out the Eidolons on the draw, board in the 2 pass, board in the 2 Firecrafts. I don't like the way Merfolk's position right now, but like, green-white humans could be reasonable. Especially if, like, if you wanted to go more mid-range humans, I would suggest trying, like, Knight of the Reliquary and, like, Tireless Tracker. If you were going to try energy, maybe try, Red-Green Pummeler. Like, a version of that could be pretty budget. Suspect this is either going to go after the creature or they have a blaze effect here. Yeah, it feels like a blaze effect or an Eidolon. That's sweet, Ricardo. Yeah, burn can be pretty reasonable. Like it's like my top played deck, although it's not like the. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, green-white allies can be pretty sweet. War Dog shared his list. Can do some pretty insane things. Feel like another blaze effect incoming, or is this a Helix? Yeah, I mean, sucks that we missed the extra point of damage off of the. Whatchamacallit here, but I think I'm just going to play Helix while they're tapped out. I could have cast a Hard Elf Skullcrack for them having another Lightning Helix, but I think it's more important that we prioritize us gaining life. Yeah, Eidolon here, a little awkward. I'm going to take one draw step at a Blaze effect. I'm just going to pass the turn, let them... Yeah, I think in a mono-green deck that's a little risky. I think in red-green with like Voltaic Brawler and stuff, I think it would have been a lot better. Taking that 2 damage there might have been wrong. I think it's a card that needs tested. I don't know how good it actually is in the meta. That's like somebody in the comments asked about holy wowzers. Alright. That's quite the hand to hold back here. Somebody asked about like Flame of Keld. I didn't think it would be good, but then I saw Saffron Olive's list, and that list seems solid. We'll definitely have to try it at some point. I just tend to, when I don't have a ton of time to test, I just stick to kind of the default version I've been playing for a while. That said, I think we're losing this race because we don't have any creatures. Like our opponent being able to use both their blazing effects kind of sucks. This is a Lightning Helix, we're in some trouble. Boros Charm obviously puts us in a lot of trouble too. Puts us to 4, puts us to 2. If they have a Bolt, we're dead. I mean... Yeah, I think Flame of Keld's a fine card, especially in a deck that can more take advantage of... So we kind of have to have hope our opponent has nothing in hand and draws nothing, otherwise we're dead here. So... Burn Mirror can be rough without the, it can. I mean, yeah, that's just the game. Like, a lot of it is you have to realize that you have to prioritize, looks like our opponent did not skimp on any of their creatures, so I think I'm going to bring in the, Searing Bloods here. Eidolon's okay. I'm not a huge fan of it in the Burn Mirror. Just kind of weird, but I'm not a huge fan of leaving this card in matchups where I'm taking a lot of damage anyway. So I think I'm just going to bring in the Bloods and for the Firecrafts and call it a mulligan. Well... This is a hand. This is one of those hands that if I draw a second land on turn 2 or turn 3, I'm probably going to win the game because I have these 2 Lightning Helixes and the Searing Blaze. if I don't draw a second land, I'm probably going to lose the game. So, risk reward, I'm going to keep the hand. I don't like keeping one-landers, but this is a hand whose upside is too hard to pass. This is Magic Online. Alright, sweet. Which is Wizards of the Coast primary way to play Magic Online. Magic. Unfortunately, it does cost quite a bit of money. If you're into playing Standard, MTG Arena is a reasonable alternative to playing. Or there are a couple of other outlets called Xmage and Cockatrice that allow you to play Magic the Gathering for free, basically. You just have to learn the software, and it allows you to do a lot of testing. War Dog and Foz, if you're in here, is, has Janishevich been doing testing on Xmage? He said before, I just couldn't remember if it was Xmage or if it was, Cockatrice. Grim boy. This is going to put our opponent in a rough spot. Yeah, if they're trying to win this game, they can't block here, and if we have any spell, they're just dead. So. Alright, so the 5-0 dream is alive. See if we can get there. If you look at I don't know. I've never played Xmage. So I don't personally know. Has anybody in chat played Xmage and can tell Aaron if it works on mobile or not? Ricardo, there are cards, but none of them really fit into what Burns trying to do. Like, some decks have tried, like, Bedlam Reveler out of the sideboard. I think if you want to play a burn deck that doesn't run out of gas, you gotta dip your toe in blue. Like the blue-red Delver list, obviously has a pretty decent time not running out of gas, because it has access to some number of cantrips and Snapcaster Mage. So, yeah, Aaron, I would definitely look into Xmage. That would allow you to get quite a bit more testing in. I've never personally used the platform, but I do know of a couple of people that have, including somebody that tests for bigger events on it, because they don't have the money for Magic Online. So I would look into Xmage. The only other deck I could think of would be maybe the, thanks for the subscription, Aaron. The only deck otherwise I would look into is, like, I haven't tested it with it yet, so I don't know how good the deck is, but that mono red list that Saffron Olive did a budget list on would be a deck that might not run out of gas just from the how it's set up. Yeah, it's a pretty easy mulligan. This hand's alright, it's not great. business of a third land here. So this is something that the comments have actually taught me. Is to play basic mountain here over the fetch land for the shock land in case you draw something like we've actually played a couple versions of Red Blackburn, and it's actually been, I've never done like a full-blown testing on it, but Red Blackburn, oh dear. Well, this matchup just got a lot harder. Turn 1, Human. Yeah, Humans is a rough matchup in terms of, like, necessarily having the spells to kill them quickly enough. And we do not have a controlling hand, so we have to do the try to kill you before you kill us thing. And if they drop a Thalia here or a Meddling Mage, it could get quite ugly. Like, if they drop Meddling Mage, we're going to have to bolt it to get a Rift Bolt back, and And Kitesail Freebooter is an annoying little of a card. So we're probably going to lose our Lightning Bolt here. That said, our opponent is on a slower draw. Though those Nimble Hierarchs could certainly speed up their getting it done clause. I think I'm just going to bolt their face for right now. Yeah, especially because we could always draw Searing Blaze here. Like land. Please don't be Thalia. If it's just one Thalia's Lieutenant, I'm good here. If they play a second Thalia's Lieutenant, this is going to get real rough real quick. Oh, what's up, Jankovic? How you doing? Why do I have so few cards? Because I'm playing Burn. I mulliganed and I'm on a Burn hand, so I've just been pretty much emptying my hand. Plus they took one of my bolts with a Kitesail Freebooter here, which is looking like now we should have just killed it because they have a double Thalia's Lieutenant hand. As much of their power off the board as possible. I think their clock's just going to kill us before we can get back into this game. So right now they have 4, 6. Yeah, they have us on a 2-turn clock. There's no one card we can draw here to kill them. I mean, if this was only... Yeah, we're just dead here pretty much. I haven't toyed with too much, I haven't toyed with too much outside of, like, messing with, like, Bomat Courier and a few other things. I have played with some versions, like Nakatl and stuff, but I don't think Nakatl version's particularly good right now. So it's just all my kill spells on deck game. So actually, I forgot something here. So Eidolon is terrible against... Eidolon's pretty terrible against Aether Vial decks. Yeah, I just got an email, Foz. I'll take a look at it later. Alright, Aaron. Hope you have a good evening, man. So I'd like to play first. This hand is terrific. They beat this hand, then they... If they beat this hand, then they obviously wanted it more than we did. Alright, yeah, they're probably the Aether Vial version. This means we get to get all of our dudes into play, and then leverage our guys as removal spells. So... Thermo Alchemist. I've never tried Thermo Alchemist. I'll have to think about that. And what planeswalkers would you want in the burn deck? I think Modern's gotten faster since the Shrine deck did well. So I'm not sure Shrine's really where you want to be. Chandra is ambitious. The Flipwalker would probably have a better time in the Chandra Flipwalker would probably be something to test in the mono red Faithless Looting deck. Like, is this Dahlia's lieutenant here? I mean, if it's Thalia, we flat out don't care. Yep. They're drawing a Thalia this turn. Like, the only reason you'd want Chandra Torch of Defiance in a burn variant is if it was something more akin to the Hazard Red or the, is this a Chem Ball? This feels like it might be a Chem Ball. Sin Collector. Well, that one sucks. Who's our only card here? And they're going to get to Violent Athalia. Alright, that's a pretty good one. Alright, like I said, if we weren't winning that game, then obviously our opponent wanted it more. There was talk about whether Wizards should do that or not, so it's kind of hard to tell what Wizards is going to do. It'd be cool if they did that. Yeah, Ricardo, if you have any success with that, let me know. I mean, I'm not against testing various different versions of Burn and such. And if you ever have a list you want to share, I mean, feel free. I usually play pretty much almost anything that gets sent my way. I think there's only been a few decks that I didn't at least try for a couple games. This hand's pretty reasonable, Kind of soft to a turn 2 Thalia, but what burn hand isn't? The only risk with this hand is we might get clogged on our lack of mana. So we really probably want to draw like a land or two the next couple turns. Because like if they Thalia us here, we're going to have to path them, and that's just going to make it a mess, and yeah. Maybe we'll get lucky and they got greedy. Nope, they did not get greedy. It's unfortunate. This is probably a Thalia. Oh, Meddling Mage, sure. Yeah, Ricardo, if you don't get a chance to get out and play much, I'd really say looking into Magic Online or X-Mage, because I'm largely in the same boat. I can only get out maybe once a week, and that's F&M if I don't want to be awake for work the next morning. So here's hoping they don't have gonna say a Burrington Forge Tender here would kind of blow us out. This is a triple path to exile hand. Alrighty then. Okay. They have a Meddling Mage, this is really gonna suck. Oh, you really can't play Magic Online with on a Mac, can you? What the heck is this? That sucks. Sin Collector, take my other Boros Charm? Is that what's going on here? So our opponents just conceded that all their creatures are going to die, and they're going to try to take away all my burn spells here. Well, now it's just a bunch of paths. I'm just going to hold up path for their turn. I don't really want to. I mean, I could certainly push damage here, but obviously it's not going to do a ton here given the fact that my opponent has chump blockers for days. That said, we might have more paths than they have creatures, so I would absolutely not play Chain of the Rocks right now with the printing of Assassin's Trophy. That's like asking to get your hind end handed to you right now. So, yeah, I would 1000% stay away from Chain of the Rocks until we see how many decks are going to be running Assassin's Trophy. Because for them to blow up your mountain and get like 1 or 2 creatures back would be terrible. Absolutely terrible. Like, I was considering playing some number of Chain of the Rocks in my sideboard because I don't like giving people lands. But as soon as they print an Assassin's Trophy, I'm like, nope, nope, nope. Not much. I think it will make Black Green Rock, and Jund slightly better. but I think that am I getting Reflector Mage here? Feels like a Reflector Mage. They are very... I guess they're learning from Assassin's Trophy too. They are very fearful of Assassin's Trophy over there. Opponent can only draw one card this turn. Unless it's a Horizon Campy, then they get a redraw. I don't want to be premature, but we might be on our way to the 5-0. Feels like a Mantis Rider. Or is this... Oh! Oh! Oh, that's disgusting. I guess we're getting Searing Blood here? That's pretty nasty. Alright. I respect you, opponent. What's up, Aaron? How's the little one doing? I respect my opponent's tilt. I certainly would have considered it right up until the point where, Alright, so we get to... Is this lethal here? 4, 6, 7... I can't play both spells anyway, so... May as well just go ahead and head to combat. See if they block here. Don't really want to path this anyway, so let's let them block. Put them to 5 here. They have a lot of card decisions to make in terms of like what they play. She's watching now too. Yeah, I had a friend of mine who posted on his Facebook about being like, yeah, everybody in the house was sleeping, including the baby and mom, but not me. And then mom's like, the mom joke made some post or something, and he's like, oh, I have a present for you now, referring to the baby having a crappy diaper, and she's like, nope, all yours. Violin here. Actually, I think I just let them do their thing here. It all comes down to, do you want your artifact and enchantments destruction to deal damage and stretch your mana base a little bit, or are you fine with playing cards like Wear Terror, Smash to Smithereens, and whatchamacallit. So that's kind of a judgment call you have to make. Is it worth the cost of stretching my mana base a little bit to play a card that is this will be the game. Yeah, Tellurian Community College is pretty hilarious. So we got the 5-0. It's kind of funny, we didn't 5-0 at all last season. Did have a lot of 4-1s, but not too many 5-0s. So... thoughts on the list. This is still my current preferred list. The only thing I debate about is Rest in Peace versus Core Firewalker on your sideboard. Space or War Dog, yeah, already finished the league, Jan. It's a burn league, man. They don't go long, you know that. And I'd already played the first match before I got on. So burn is good. You know, it's obviously the deck that I want to PPTQ with. It's a deck that I've top 8'd a very slow and that's the Magic Online bug. See, I click off, click on, back to 4 on the sideboard. Whenever you're constantly switching out versions, it glitches and keeps like extra cards on the sideboard until you click off and click back on. Judge! Yeah. That's just good old Magic Online bug. Like whenever you're switching, like, because I use Mana Traders obviously, so it's kind of like, you know. But the only real flex slot in my list is these 2 Rest in Pieces. If I play my LGS, I'm probably going to play Firewalkers. If I play in bigger events, I prefer having Rest in Peace, because usually Firewalker is only really for the burn mirror and good against Gobos. I know there's at least 1 or 2 burn players in my local meta. Level 1 Foz is here. This is a warning. Dude, if I have 17 of my cards in my sideboard, that's a game loss. Necessary? No. Does it help certain matchups? Yes. But it's much like other cards like Deflecting Palm. The more people expecting it, the worse it is. Because they, like, the humans player probably brought in Reclamation Sage. It's good in certain matchups. Like, there are certain matchups like Bridgevine, Hollow One, Humans, where Bridgeline, you know, like those kind of decks, or even to a certain degree Death Shadow, where it can buy you time to kill them with burn spells. So I'm not a huge fan because of the cost, but it can be. So that is a warning. If I had 5 passes in my thing, I would be disqualified from the event. I have a feeling, Foz. So, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much where I come out on burn right now. It's a good deck. It's probably still the top of my list for the RPTQ, but I'd like to have other things in my holster just in case. Because there are some events you can go 5-0, and then there are other events where you go like 1-2 with burn, and it's like, I hate my life right now. Yeah, that's probably true, Doyle. Alright. Does anybody else have any other burn questions? Because otherwise, I'm going to log off here for a minute, log into Arena, and do a quick sealed event. We're probably not going to get all the way through the sealed event, but I at least want to do, like, look through the packs, see what we get, and stuff like that. Because I did not get a chance to do a pre-release this weekend, so I really want to do a pre-release event on MTG Arena. So for those of you that are bowing out as a result, I apologize, but I wanted to get a good burn stream in. Hey, no problem, Ricardo. If you have sorcery speed versus flexibility, and also you don't want Fragmentize in the face of Chalice of the Void. So, depends on your meta, Foz. There are some metas where Fragmentize could be perfectly fine. If you're expecting some number of Chalices, I would not play it. Or like maybe 1 or 2. Like if I were to split it in my list, I'd play like maybe like 1 Fragmentize, 2 Wear Tear. Yes, pre-release is this weekend. You still have tomorrow. LGSs are still running a event on Sundays too. Yes, pre-release is this weekend. I know the feeling, Aaron. I was not able to make it out to any events because of my work schedule, but maybe when we get back to working on a little more Legacy War Dog, we can test, like, the problem is does Bridge come down fast enough is the other issue. I think if you're fine giving up the white cards, Bump of the Night and Sovereign's Bite are perfectly fine, Foz. We still have to play that list through a league, don't we? Bump of the Night also happens to get around Worship, which is nice. But it's still vulnerable to Leyline of Sanctity, so... And also Bump of the Night. Anger is the opposite problem as in Snaring Bridge. Anger stops smaller creature decks, which Burn's usually pretty reasonable against, and Snaring Bridge stops the big creature decks. Like Hollow One, like Hollow Vine, like Humans, etc. So I think they attack two different things, Ricardo. Oh. Yeah, that's a good point, War Dog. Like, I could see playing Anger of the Gods if you had, like, a ton of elves, a ton of Counters Company, stuff like that in your meta, goblins and such. I mean, found my cards on Monday in my garbage. Wow, that's not good. Alright, if you guys have any questions or anything you want addressed, Chain Whirler is a good card, but not in traditional Burn. Chain Whirler is good in a more creature-based aggressive red deck, like Goblins or the mono-red Flame of Kel deck that Saffron Olive put out, or the Hazoret list put out by the guy over on Nikachu. What is his name? Day 2 Dryden. So that would be my suggestions. Is Chain Whirler's fine, I just don't think it's good in traditional Burn. Garage, not garbage. Down the Watch Arena. Alright, guys, well, I will be back in about 2 minutes. I gotta log off, get these cards turned in, and switch over the stuff on YouTube for the Arena stream. So I'll be back in about 2 minutes for a quick Arena limited sealed event. So, thanks everybody for hanging out. Those of you that are coming back, thanks for coming back. Those of you that are calling in tonight, hope you have a great night and a great weekend. Alright, Ricardo, good luck doing homework, man.